3.5 episodes of You last night.
You?
Yes. So I'm almost done.
What channel is that on?
The Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. So Zion Williamson will face LeBron and the Lakers for the first time in his career tonight, which we will all be watching.
Yeah.
And Zion is looking forward to facing a player that he looked up to as a kid.
Watch him all the time, especially when he was in Cleveland the first time. He was just an incredible player to watch. He always held his own, and sometimes I feel like he doesn't get the respect he deserves, but that's not for me to decide.
Kind of an interesting comment from Zion because LeBron is very polarizing. I think now, going into the latter years of his career, he's starting to become a little more beloved, but through most of his career, he's been very much debated and compared, and schemes been picked apart because he's been the face of the league.
And he's threatened Michael's legacy a little bit.
And he's come into the league a little differently than a lot of players.
The chosen one, which doesn't bother me, but it bothers a lot of people.
He's in a very unique situation, and obviously everything that happened in Miami, him leaving Cleveland, then he goes to the Lakers.
He's averaging 25, 8, and like 10 this year.
He's having a brilliant season.
And he's no longer a great on-ball defender, but his effort's there. I mean, listen, you can't ask a guy 17 years in to be a great defender.
Obviously I loved LeBron when he was in Miami. That was, of course. But we went back to Cleveland. I can admit I was a little bit bitter about it, but after he won and decided to come to LA, I passed over into the space of where I am with Tom Brady. I'm going to enjoy watching the greatest player, one of the greatest players of all time, play a game that I love at a high level. I'm not going to get involved in where he is and what he's doing. Like, you're going to miss watching LeBron James one day.
There's no question. I mean, it's funny.
I get it. Like, I'm a Heat fan, okay? We went through a couple of years. We're competitive now, but, listen, we had to deal with it.
I watched the Lakers the other night. Who did they play? Oh, Celtics game.
Right.
And I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and he had checked out, and he wasn't on the floor. And just to show you the presence of LeBron. So I'm watching Celtics Lakers, and I probably went and got an early cocktail or something. I don't know. But I came back, and he wasn't in. And immediately, the first thing I look for, where's LeBron? LeBron's not on the floor. My eyes just moved toward him. In the Lakers offense for about 2.5 minutes while I watched it, it just was not the same.
And that's also why it's really unfair to put Zion in a space right now where he's going to be responsible for taking over the league when LeBron retires, which we're not talking about LeBron retiring anytime soon, obviously, but eventually that time will come, and someone's going to have to pass into the space of being the face of the league. And it doesn't have to be Zion right now, but it is going to be fun to watch the two of them on the court tonight. So Oregon basketball star Sabrina Ionescu made history last night. She became the first NCAA Division I player ever, man or woman, to record at least 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists in their career. She also spoke earlier yesterday at Kobe and Gianna Bryant's memorial. So she gave a eulogy at their memorial earlier in the day and then went and made Division I history. She spoke after the game and said that one was for him. To do it on 2/24/20 is huge. Yes.
1,000 assists.
2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists in her career. She had 21 points, 12 assists, and 12 rebounds last night.
Yeah, I just read a story. To be honest with you, 1,000 assists in college.
Yeah, she's a superstar.
I mean, it'd be one thing if you're a great scorer. Like, I get that. Like, I watched a lot of great scores. 1,000 assists for a great score in college basketball? That seems like a lot.
She's incredible. And it's amazing that she did that yesterday after speaking at Kobe and Gianna's memorial. And Dwayne Wade tweeted about it. Steph Curry was at her game on Friday at Cal, had his daughters there. A big takeaway from the memorial yesterday also, there was just as many NBA players and Rob Pelinka in the NBA world as there was WNBA and women's basketball representatives. Gina Auriemma, Deanna Taurasi, Sabrina all spoke. It was even. And I thought that was something that was really telling about Kobe as well, that he was such a supporter of women's basketball, not just because of his daughter. I mean, he had a great relationship with Lisa Leslie, and you could see the presence of that there. It was so much bigger than just the NBA. He was a part of just the basketball world internationally.
Kobe's reach is incredible.
He was a huge advocate for women's basketball. And now I think that is something else, how you talked about Michael Jordan who I thought was amazing and very vulnerable and open about his relationship, him taking away what he did from Kobe. I think a lot of players are seeing like what the value is of supporting women's sports, even at the collegiate level. You know, Steph taking his daughters to see her play the Friday before she does this. I think that's going to be another trend that continues as well. Not that NBA players don't support the WNBA, obviously they do, but I do think that they will take it to another level now. So finally, there's been some concern about the Olympics in Tokyo this summer since the coronavirus outbreak, and a senior International Olympic Committee member, actually the longest serving IOC member, who served since 1978, said today that if Tokyo is deemed too dangerous, organizers are more likely to cancel the games altogether than to postpone them or move them. So there's an estimated 3-month window for the decision to be made. They're currently scheduled to begin on July 24th.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's kind of big news. Not that they're going to move it or postpone it, because obviously the Olympics are announced years and years ahead of time. It takes cities a dramatic amount of time to prepare.
Well, where would you move to? It's a global pandemic, right?
Well, that, and you have to prepare to have the Olympics, to house the Olympics is a huge undertaking. I mean, the logistics of housing all of those athletes and coaches and media, and like it's an astronomical undertaking. Like, you can't just be like, oh well, let's just switch it to another city. It's a big deal. So it's a huge decision for them, which is why they would actually have to cancel it rather than postpone or move it.
Where are the Olympics again?
Tokyo.
Oh,
so there's 159 coronavirus cases reported in Japan, only 4 reported deaths. But 80,000 people have been infected globally, and there's been a reported 2,700 deaths to this point. But yeah, it's a huge concern. Like,
yeah, I don't know what to make of the coronavirus. It's serious, obviously. At this point, I'm just kind of watching the numbers, the raw numbers.
I mean, yes, it hasn't really hit the sports world per se yet. Like, obviously, this is, sports are a microcosm of society, so we're affected by everything that's going on globally. It's very concerning, obviously, and scary, but yeah, this is a big deal. They have to cancel the Olympics over it.
Oh, my Lord.
So let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Enjoy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie
This
News.
is going to be a big free agent year. Coming up next, we're going to play Deal or No Deal. Would I, if I ran a franchise, sign the free agent who is going to be at least offered a contract? We'll give you the contracts out there we think will happen, rumored to happen, reported to happen, and if we'd sign the deal, deal or no deal, coming up next. Well, when you're driving a car and it's bad weather, vision, the windshield, what you can see and what you can't becomes paramount, more so than ever in the winter and the spring. 16,000-mile test is what Michelin put Rainier Zietlow through. Alaska to Argentina. Wind, tundra, rain, sleet. And they not just survived, they flourished because of QuadTech 4-layer coated silicone that repels water and ice and snow and lasts 2 times longer than other blades. The Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades are real-world proven, available only at Walmart. Listen, you get on the road, winter and spring, it's wet, it's windy. If you don't have the protection and the right wiper blades, trouble, bad things happen. Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blade.